I stared at her across the dinner table, fork frozen halfway to my mouth. The words had just slipped out of her lips, so casual, as if she were discussing the weather. Once a month. That's all I can give you, intimacy-wise. For a moment I thought she was joking. We'd been married 7 years, and though the spark had dimmed, I never imagined she'd ration affection like it was some monthly allowance. I set the fork down carefully, my heart thudding. Once a month. I repeated, my voice barely above a whisper. Sarah avoided my eyes, pushing peas around her plate. Yes, that's all I'm comfortable with now. A lump formed in my throat. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Cold. Like this decision had been made long before she brought it to me. And that was the night I first thought about divorce. The growing distance. Sarah and I met in college. She was the girl with the radiant laugh that lit up an entire room, the one who could argue Shakespeare one moment and dance barefoot in the rain the next. I fell hard, and for years she was everything to me. But somewhere along the way, jobs, bills, routine, the laughter dulled. She grew distant, distracted. Her phone was always in her hand, her smiles reserved for someone else. I told myself it was stress. Everyone has dry seasons. But then came her rule, once a month only. It wasn't about sex. Not really. It was about connection, closeness, intimacy, the glue that bound us together. Her decree felt less like a compromise and more like rejection. That night, after she went to bed, I sat alone in the living room. The house was silent, except for the hum of the refrigerator. My chest ached, and I realized something I'd been avoiding. I was losing her. The suspicion. The following weeks were a blur of forced small talk and polite smiles. Sarah acted as if nothing had changed. But I noticed things, small things that gnawed at me. She started coming home later than usual. Work ran late, she'd say, slipping past me with her bag still humming with notifications. Her phone was suddenly locked with a new passcode. She guarded it like it held state secrets, taking it with her even into the shower. And then there was the perfume. A musky, unfamiliar scent clinging to her blouse one evening when she claimed she'd been at the office. My stomach twisted with unease. Was I paranoid? Or was the truth something darker than I dared to admit? The breaking point. It happened on a rainy Thursday night. Sarah claimed she had a late meeting, so I decided to surprise her. I drove to her office, parked across the street, and waited. Hours passed. Midnight crept closer. Finally I saw her. But she wasn't alone. She stepped out of the building, laughing in that way she hadn't laughed with me in years. Beside her was a man I recognized vaguely from her stories, a coworker named Dylan. He held an umbrella over her, his hand lingering far too comfortably at the small of her back. My chest tightened. My fingers gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. I wanted to storm across the street, demand answers, tear the truth out of her. But I didn't. I just watched as she slipped into his car, her smile brighter than any she'd given me in months. That was the night something inside me cracked. The confrontation. When Sarah finally came home, long past midnight, I was waiting. She dropped her keys on the counter and froze when she saw me sitting in the dark. "You were with him," I said flatly. Her eyes widened. "What? Who?" "Dylan." Color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, then shut it again. Finally she whispered, "It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" My voice shook. Because from where I was sitting, it looked exactly like "You've replaced me." Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt no sympathy. I was too numb. She reached for me, but I stepped back. "Tell me the truth, Sarah." Her lips trembled. And then she said it. The words I'd feared, the words that shattered me. I need him." The proposal. The next morning I made my decision. Over coffee, my voice steady but my hands trembling, I said, "I want a divorce." Her head snapped up. "What? You don't love me anymore. You've checked out. I won't live in a marriage where I'm treated like a burden." Her eyes widened. panic flashing across her face. Wait, hey, calm down. I need you. The audacity of it made me laugh, bitter and hollow. You need me. What, as a backup plan? For the bills? For the comfort of knowing I'm here while you run off to him? No, that's not. She reached across the table, but I pulled away. Don't lie to me again. The confession. That night Sarah broke. She sat on the couch, her face streaked with tears. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. It started with late nights just talking. Felt alive again. He made me feel seen. And then one night I crossed a line. I thought I could control it, but I couldn't. Her words were daggers. Every sentence was another cut. And yet I forced myself to listen. I still love you, she pleaded. I just got lost. Please don't throw this away. Don't throw us away. But the truth was clear. She hadn't loved me in a long time. She loved the comfort, the security, the stability I gave her. What she didn't love was who I was. The aftermath. The divorce process was brutal. We fought over everything, the house, the car, the accounts. Every court date felt like another funeral, another nail in the coffin of the life we'd built. People asked why I didn't try harder to forgive her, why I didn't fight for counseling or compromise. But they didn't understand. Forgiveness isn't possible when trust is dead. And for me, trust had died the night I saw her laughing under another man's umbrella. 1 year later, a year after the divorce, I ran into Sarah by chance at a grocery store. She looked thinner, older, her smile forced. Dylan wasn't with her. We exchanged polite words, nothing more. But as I walked away, she called after me. James. Her voice cracked. I still need you. I turned, met her eyes and felt nothing. No rage. No longing. Just emptiness where love used to be. I needed you too, I said softly. But you weren't there. And with that, I left her standing in the aisle, surrounded by strangers, clutching a basket of groceries she suddenly looked too small to carry. That night, as I sat alone in my new apartment, I reflected on everything. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the endless nights replaying her words in my head. And then, for the first time, I felt something unexpected. Relief. Because sometimes, losing someone isn't the tragedy you think it is. Sometimes, it's the only way to find yourself again.